So for those of you who used last night's game plan, you should have had a phenomenal green day today. I made it very, very clear in terms of the comparison of April 8th, how the SPY would likely drop back down to fill the gap below as long as we are getting red bearish 30-minute candlestick confirmations towards the levels that I gave you for put options. The SPY ended up forming the first red bearish 30-minute candlestick confirmation towards the exact upper level I gave you to buy put options. We were only interested in buying calls if the SPY breaks above 550. If not, then we're looking for bearish 30-minute candlestick confirmations towards the upper levels to play the SPY for a gap fill play to ride it back down to fill the gap below at 534, which is where we were planning to buy call options for an oversold gap close reversal. In terms of what I ended up doing on the day, I ended up making money trading both ways, calls and puts, going 3 for 4, absolutely crushing it on the overall day. My first trade was using the game plan to a T. Once I noticed that the SPY was reversing at the gap 534, where I told you to be buying call options, I noticed there was trend reversal, 30-minute candlestick patterns, along with a green, red, green bullish candlestick pattern. I took advantage of that trade opportunity and the calls went up over 100%. We absolutely crushed trading both ways. I'm going to be breaking down the trades that I ended up making towards the end of this video. First things first, we're going to get into the new money-making lucrative trading opportunity. The SPY is setting up for a highly predictable move heading into tomorrow. Let's get straight into the newly updated price action analysis. So in terms of the overall SPY, we're going to be starting off with the daily chart. In terms of the daily chart and the 10-day 30-minute pattern that is currently repeating itself, the main focus is going to be to buy call options at key oversold support levels. I still have levels for put options that I'll be sharing with you, but first things first, let's get into the daily chart foundation. So in terms of the overall SPY, this is what I have to say about the daily chart. If we have an oversold dip below the previous closing price, I'll be waiting for call options towards oversold levels. In terms of the dip, it's likely not going to be a massive dip, so I'm going to be targeting more higher oversold levels in terms of this current situation. Now, if the SPY is gapping up heading into tomorrow, then I'll be interested in buying call options towards upper levels starting at the gap at 539.12. Make sure you're using overall bullish, 30-minute candlestick confirmations, trend reversal 30-minute candlestick confirmations. In terms of the daily chart, last time this played out, you can see we have a strong trend with this overall red bearish pin. Take a look. When the red bearish pin forms right here, what happens the next day? A small drop below the previous closing price in terms of how much it dropped below the previous closing price, closed at 496.50 and it ended up bottoming at 493, so a 3-point drop. And then you could see the same, and then it ended up having a strong bullish closing trend day, right? And then you can see the same exact pattern. It was a break, it was a retest, red bearish pin, same red bearish pin that ended up forming, same red bearish pin that ended up forming, just right here on a larger scale, right? But the point being is, on this particular day, the SPY ended up closing at 524.58, and in terms of where it ended up bottoming the next day it bottomed at 520, so a 4.5 drop. With that being said, in terms of measuring the overall move with this history to repeat itself situation, going to be looking at a range of what I would say 2 to 4 points. 2 to 4 points below the previous closing price, especially if we are not gapping up. But the point being is, man, 2 to 4 points below the previous closing price is going to be a zone where I'm interested in buying call options. If at any point throughout the day, I'm seeing strong support, I'm seeing break and retest, I'm seeing higher support, I'm seeing green bullish 30-minute candlestick confirmations, we are in there for call options for a strong bullish closing trend day. That's what the market is going to attempt to do as long as the SPY is holding 3 to 4 points, below the previous closing price. It's going to be an overall bullish trend day. And I will be interested in potentially higher zones, starting with the previous closing price, if we are gapping up, but ideally a massive gap up. If it's not a massive gap up, more of a flat open, I'll be more focused on that overall lower oversold range, 2 to 4 points below the previous closing price rather than at the previous closing price, but that would be still could be considered a level, right? So with that being said, we are setting up for another bullish pattern. As you can see, the market continues to form higher support. This was your previous resistance at 523. This was your breakout, and it keeps on failing to break above this 549. That's why instead of buying into false breakouts, instead of buying into fake outs, we actually fucking wait for the SPY to break a fucking above 549, go to 550, form some higher support, form a higher floor, instead of getting caught into these fake outs, man. And I literally showed you the pattern. We're going to go over this, man. I literally explained to you how there was likely going to be opportunities for puts below that 549, and I gave you the ranges. I told you like 545, 543, 541. I gave you the levels, and surely enough, once we got that red bearish 30-minute candlestick confirmation in the morning, the SPY started to sell to fill the gap, and I told you to buy the fucking calls at the fucking gap, and that was the exact low of day. The gap close reversal strategy worked once again, and it wasn't just the gap close reversal strategy, it was a break and retest. This is resistance at 523. This is the breakout. It ended up gapping down and failing to break above the key critical 549. This is the higher support. The daily close of this candle is above the previous resistance, and the SPY already had a massive breakout and a massive gap to fill above. Therefore, it's forming higher support with this bullish fucking pin. It's going to try to explode up to fill the gap above. And then in terms of today, as you can see, we have the gap up. Once the SPY nearly filled the gap, it began to form lower highs. It began to reverse, but it's forming that higher support. The SPY keeps on turning. Previous resistance, right? Your previous resistance is 523, breakout, retest, support. And then it explodes up to fill the gap. Once it heads back up towards the gap, drops back down to fill this gap right here, which is aligned with the new previous resistance at 533. No longer at 523, 533. Higher support, gap close reversal, still continuing to uptrend to fill the gap above, and every single time it's been doing break and retest and forming this red pin has been overall bullish. And not only do we have a gap to fill at 549, once we finally go above 549 into the 550s, we're going to have that massive gap fill play where the SPY trends up to the low 560s to close this gap at 564, man. It's just so simple if you wait to use the break and retest strategy at oversold levels, rather than trying to play false breakouts, false fake outs, trying to buy into a breakout the first time it's tested. Literally just wait for the overreactions. Okay, this is major resistance right here at 523. The SPY drops all the way back down. Wow, this is such a massive breakout. Wait for it to drop back down. Wait for it to gap back down. Overreaction to the upside, overreaction to the downside. On the first time it retest, on that break and retest, buy the fucking dip. Same situation. I told you, man, we had a massive gap up above 534 resistance. Therefore, it's going to try to fill this gap, and we start to react bearish. It's going to sell off to fill this gap, and it's going to have back-to-back gap close reversals where we nearly reversed at this gap at 549, drop back down to reverse at this gap at 534, turn this previous resistance into support. Wait for the breakouts, wait for the retest. Overreaction to the upside, overreaction to the downside. Buy the fucking dips instead of getting caught up in the first initial retest, just trying to buy at 540 fucking 9, you got to wait for the break and retest, man. It's so fucking simple. Don't get caught up in false breakouts. Don't get caught up in fucking fake outs, man. I'm telling you, in terms of my personal trading, I've noticed the worst results I've ever gotten, and what never fucking works for me is when I try to buy a breakout the first time it is fucking tested. It just doesn't fucking work. You got to wait for a massive breakout above that level you're interested in buying, right? So if I'm interested in buying calls at fucking 523, wait for a massive fucking breakout, drop back down, overreaction to the upside, overreaction to the downside, bullish fucking floor, likely going to bounce first, especially if there's a gap to fill above. Break, retest, starts to fill the gap above, serves a purpose. Break, retest, closes this gap, reverses at the gap, and then explodes up to fill the gap right here at 549. And then once we get the break above 549, drop back down, retest, forms higher support, bullish confirmations, explodes up into the low 560s. That's how you got to trade this overall market. Wait for the overreactions to the upside, wait for the overreactions to the downside, play the break and retest, play the higher support, play the bullish 30-minute candlestick confirmations. So in terms of overall level for calls, like I said, so basically on an overall tiny gap up, on an overall flat open, I'm looking for calls in between a 2 to 4 point drawdown below the previous closing price, which would mean as long as we're not having a massive gap up, then I would be interested in buying calls somewhere in between that 537, somewhere in between 537 being the upper range and 535 being the lower range, in between that bracket, right? Now, in terms of where those levels are aligned, let's take a look at the 10-day, 30-minute chart in terms of massive overall moves. So, this is going to be a key, critical, crazy level, this 533, 534. some very key overall levels that I'll be looking at on the SPY. 533 is going to be a major level for fucking calls. This is going to be a fucking phenomenal level for calls. This 534, this is going to be another nice level for calls. 535 to 536 range, right? So just, I'll be eyeing calls in between 535 to 537. And if the SPY does drop to that range, starting to react to support, then the upper level for calls is going to be the previous closing price, 539, right? As long as the SPY is staying above 535, it is considered strong and bullish for tomorrow, and potentially even a swing trading opportunity where the SPY is going to push higher. As long as it's holding above 535 for tomorrow, it's going to try to explode up to the next level on Wednesday to 549 in that particular situation. So it could even be a swing trading opportunity, man. And I'm telling you, once we finally break above this 550 and react to support, we're going to be buying call options the day of. There has been several false breakouts towards 549 and slightly below the level. We were well equipped, man. I even told you in terms of last night's video, in terms of the comparison, I told you this is what the pattern looks like, and this is the most likely outcome. If you studied the overall 10-day, 30-minute chart, the pattern repeated itself to an exact T. And using my information, I was able to buy call options at the exact lows, while many people got caught up in a morning bull trap where the SPY started to reverse and fill the gap that was waiting to fill below at 534. I decided to wait to play the gap close reversal and buy calls towards that lower oversold range. With that being said, if you looked at the overall 10-day, 30-minute chart, I pointed this out in terms of last night's video. You had this chop slanted uptrend to the right side. You had this chop slanted uptrend to the right side, and then you had this small gap up. And once the SPY started to go back towards some resistance, it ended up selling off once it formed a red bearish 30-minute candlestick confirmation for a very bearish trend day. And then you could see it reversed at the gap multiple times, which is why I was telling you it's likely going to reverse at that fucking gap. Plus it's an oversold level, plus it's a break and retest level, right? This is previous resistance right here. It's going to try to break, retest, right? Reverse towards this gap, drop back down to fill this gap, break, retest, and then start to reverse this gap and then explode back up towards the upper gaps we have right here, right? So with that particular situation, if you studied the comparison of April 8th, right? I mentioned this in a video last night. We were looking at April 7th and April 8th, and I made it very, very clear, as long as we're forming some sort of resistance earlier into the day, as long as we're forming a red bearish 30-minute candlestick confirmation, the SPY is going to sell off to close the gap, and then once the gap fills, you need to get out of those puts because we're going to be interested in buying call options for a gap close reversal. As you can see in terms of the SPY, so these were the overall levels I gave you for put options. In terms of the overall levels that I gave you, for put options, we were looking at towards 545, literally towards the exact highs. We were looking at, 542 to 543. It ended up being a breakdown retest. Breakdown and retest right here towards 545 to 544 zone. As you can see, man, very similar play out. If you just look at this 30-minute chart right here, it was fucking identical to April 8th. Everyone should have been in on put options in terms of the fucking morning. If you just compare this right here, you have this green wick facing to the downside in a red bearish candlestick, and it was sitting towards resistance for 2 fucking hours. We were towards the upper higher range of resistance with a gap that was waiting to fill below at 534, and we were sitting at resistance for fucking hours. And if you look, this is the wick, same wick where it topped out last time, and this is the red bearish candlestick. When that occurred, along with major resistance sitting for multiple fucking hours, the SPY was selling off. Also, another key indication of a reversal of trend. Right here, this is resistance. This is a break. This is a retest. It's trying to react bullish, but once it cracks through that higher attempted support, that's bearish. And then you can see lower highs, lower highs. The new wick is now at that previous support where it attempted to form higher support after breaking out. That's a bearish flip in momentum. When you're seeing the SPY break above resistance right here, this is resistance, this is the break, this is the retest with the higher floor, this is another attempted breakout, it failed, cracked through the fucking support, bearish, but when it spikes back up, lower highs, wick, red bearish 30-minute, all bearish signals that it's going to be selling off. If you just compare this chart right here to fucking April 8th, I literally gave you the fucking blueprint of this pattern that was going to fucking repeat itself as long as it was there. Look, same fucking candlestick, sitting at fucking resistance, green wick facing to the downside, red bearish candlestick. And I gave you the levels. I gave you multiple levels for fucking puts, sitting at fucking resistance. This was one of the levels. It ended up being the exact high towards 545, literally one of the highest levels I gave you. Fucking green wick right here facing to the downside, red bearish 30-minute candlestick, sells off to fill the gap, and then I told you to buy fucking calls at the fucking gap, man. And look at this. Look at the situation for calls. The exact low of day was the oversold level that I gave you for calls. I literally prevented you from getting trapped into calls, gave you the perfect game plan for fucking puts, and gave you the exact fucking low of day for fucking calls. Who do you know is fucking doing that? I gave you the absolute fucking blueprint. I'm not getting you trapped in towards the exact fucking highs. I'm telling you to wait. I'm telling you to wait for a break above 550 and wait for support and wait for the confirmations. I'm not telling you just buy at fucking 549 blindly. It's like, dude, if you would have done that, you would have been getting crushed. We were hitting fucking puts on all those false breakouts, on all those red bearish 30-minute candlestick confirmations. But look, take a look at this pattern, man. This is what led me to buying calls. I already knew I wanted to buy calls at the gap close reversal at 534. A move from 545 to 534, when you're talking about 11-point drawdown like that, it's going to be oversold. It's going to try to reverse. It's going to try to turn this previous resistance break and retest into fucking support to explode back up to fill the gap at 549. And also, I'm well aware in terms of my profit target for April that we're likely going to be going into that 565 gap fill range. So obviously, the best thing you could do in that situation when you're bullish for the overall macro for a move to 565 in April is to buy calls on oversold dip buying opportunities and also look for fucking swing trades, man. And I already mentioned a swing trade idea that you can use if you like, man. But with that being said, man, it was so obvious to be buying fucking call options using the level and using the game plan. But if you look at the overall 30-minute chart, this played out to an exact fucking T. And then in terms of what I'm looking at here, I'm going to walk you through this, man. I'm going to show you the exact bullish patterns. And then we'll get a little bit more in depth into the overall game plan, man. But with that being said, man, if you just look at the patterns, I'll show you some patterns right here. Take a look. This was the main pattern that caught my attention here to be buying call options. Take a look at this, man. So as you can see, I'm gonna walk you through this here. Take a look at this. We're gonna compare April 11th to fucking today. Take a look at this, man. You have a green bullish candlestick right here on the 30-minute chart. You have a green bullish candlestick right here on the 30-minute chart. You see that, right? So if you look at this particular situation, right, with this, the pattern starts right here with this fucking, hell, if you wanted to, you can even go further back. Let's see. Oh, wow, we can go really further back. Okay, take a look. We're going to start it right here, actually. We're going to go a little bit further back. Look at how well this pattern was repeating itself to an exact T, and it even ended up reversing at the previous closing price. So take a look at this, man. I'm going to walk you through this here step by step. So the pattern is actually going to start right here at this red candle. Look, you have this red bearish pin facing to the upside. You have this red bearish pin facing to the upside. You see that? And then you have two green 30-minute candlesticks in the middle. Then you have two green 30-minute candlesticks in the middle. Then you have a red bearish pin facing to the downside. Then you have a red bearish pin facing to the downside. Then you have another red bearish pin. Then you have another red bearish pin. What happens after that? So in terms of what is happening after that overall, if you just look at this main pattern of interest and just look at the fucking similarities, it was so fucking similar. This red bearish candlestick facing to the downside, this red bearish candlestick facing to the downside starts to bottom out. And then look, green, red, green above the previous closing price, this white line. And then the SPY has a strong bullish close. You see that? Green, red, green. You should have been in on call options right here at 1:30 p.m. If you weren't in on fucking calls, at 1:30 p.m., you should have been in on calls. If you weren't in on fucking calls using my fucking game plan at 1:30 p.m., it's like, what the fuck are you doing? That was the best confirmation. I know the best level was at 534, but you don't have to buy at just the best level. You can buy at the best level if you like, but and use the gap close reversal trading strategy. Try to confirm with the 1 minute, 30 minute, 1 minute, 5 minute, but there was also 30-minute confirmations as well. But it's like, dude, you should have been at the bare fucking minimum towards these upper levels because there was so much confirmation. Higher support, 2 hours of consolidation, green, red, green, and also look at the pattern. You see this trend reversal? Look at this. You see how this wick is facing to the downside? You see how this wick is facing to the downside? You see this trend reversal wick right here? You see this trend reversal wick right here? And then you see how this red is facing to the downside like this? And you see how this red is facing to the downside like this? This is a bullish trend reversal pattern. Look at this. When you look at the comparisons, it is an exact replica. It's identical. Losing is a personal choice. This is 2025. If you wait for the history to develop at the levels to be buying calls, gap close reversal, oversold level, overreaction to the downside, 11-point drop at the speed of light. Look, it was forming a floor for fucking hours. It was forming a floor for fucking hours. And then you could see red bearish drop, forms the higher support, wick facing to the downside, wick facing to the downside, wick facing to the downside, wick facing to the downside. This is all fucking identical. green, red, green in a slanted uptrend, green, red, green in a slanted uptrend, above the previous closing price, above the previous closing price. If you just looked at all the fucking candlesticks, man, it was screaming so fucking bullish. If you weren't bullish after 1:30 p.m., you're genuinely lost. You're not using the curriculum. You're not using what it is that I'm teaching you. Not only did the SPY reverse at the gap, which is where I told you to buy calls, instead of buying calls at fucking 545, I told you to wait for the break above 550. And until then, look for puts with the bearish confirmations and buy calls at 534. I lead you in the best position. You understand? Nobody's fucking doing this like us. Nobody. What does everybody else tell you? They say, oh, just buy calls at 549. It'll break out eventually. Oh, yeah. Fucking false breakout, faked out. It's like, dude, I keep buying calls at 549 and it fucking dropped 20 points fucking 4 times in a row. Oh, yeah, you'll get it right one time. I say, dude, wait for the fucking break and retest. Wait for the bullish floor. The fuck? Buying into false breakouts, buying into fake outs is not a logical strategy. The fuck? It's like, dude, I'm showing you how to print non-fucking stop. If you weren't bullish right here at 1:30 p.m., you're fucking lost. You shouldn't even be fucking trading, man. It was so fucking simple. I told you, just compare the 30-minute charts throughout the past 10 days. Look for similarities. Look for 30-minute candlestick confirmations at the fucking levels. You're going to be printing at the speed of light. SPY's reversing at the gap. It's having a gap close reversal. SPY's forming support for 2 fucking hours. This is trend reversal. This is trend reversal. It's going to try to explode up and break above the wicks, retest this wick, strong bullish close, just like it fucking did here, man. You should have been reading this. Look at this, man. You should have been reading that fucking perfectly, that pattern that I just fucking showed you. And look, this fucking, whenever it forms this red trend reversal, this trend reversal right here is identical to this trend reversal right here. And this was all happening at break and retest, gap close reversal levels. It explodes the fuck up. It explodes the fuck up. Are you seeing that? Do you see that red trend reversal candle right there? See that red trend reversal candle right there? You see that red trend reversal candle right there? It's like, dude, whenever it fucking forms that trend reversal pattern right there at key support at a gap, break and retest, it fucking explodes up. It explodes up. It explodes up. It explodes up. Are you fucking seeing this, man? We capture this in real time. Every single fucking day, we capture all of these fucking patterns. All of these patterns in 100% real time. You see that whenever it forms that trend reversal, it's like, fuck. You could have used that 3 fucking times. Right here, you could have used it during extended hours or in futures. You could have used that fucking 4 times in the past 3 fucking business trading days. Losing is a personal fucking choice. Every time it formed that fucking candle on a break and retest at key support, it fucking exploded. It fucking exploded. It fucking exploded. How the fuck can you be red if you do what I'm doing? If you literally do in terms of what it is that I'm fucking doing, which is so fucking simple, man. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna walk you through this here, man. So if you do in terms of what it is that I'm fucking doing, how the fuck can you possibly be red? Look, I'm gonna show you this, man. I'm gonna walk you fucking through this here, man. So in terms of that situation, if you take a look right here, 1:49 p.m., 5:39, SPY calls at 119 cents, right? So this was the first trade that I ended up making on the day. 5:39 calls, 119 cents, 1:49 p.m., right? So if you go to this overall situation right here, you're going to see, this is what you're going to see, man. 1:49 p.m., 5:39 calls, 119 cents, right? So if you look at this trade, this is my first trade, and you're going to see I'm literally getting in the calls towards 2 p.m., right when that 30-minute candlestick is about to close, right? So I'm buying my fucking calls. Literally, if you go to the overall 30-minute chart, you're going to see right here, this was where I was interested in buying fucking calls. I was interested once I saw the green, red, green, and I was actually buying the fucking calls when I alerted them in real time, literally right before this 30-minute candlestick opened. So once I noticed 2 hours of consolidation, green, red, green, bullish trend reversal, I'm buying calls. As this is getting ready to close green and bullish, I'm in on fucking calls, and I'm riding this fucking thing up because that's what history showed, man. With all of those trend reversal fucking patterns, man, it's like losing was a personal choice. The SPY was literally reversing at the gap multiple fucking times. It's like, dude, look at the patterns, man. This big green fucking candle facing to the downside, this big green candle facing to the downside, the SPY fucking explodes. These fucking two wicks. Dude, it's like losing is a personal fucking choice, man. This is 2025 now. You need to be well equipped. You need to be well prepared. You need to be trading the best setups at those prices only. So like I said, for my first trade, I ended up waiting until 2 p.m. I bought those calls at 5:39 p.m. As you can see, I'm literally trading my game plan. I told you I'm buying calls at 5:34. I ended up buying it at a higher price because I waited for the perfect confirmation. The perfect confirmation was chart patterns that have been repeating multiple times throughout the past 10 days. Short-term history tends to repeat when it's aligned with the strategies and game plans, right? And with that being said, key trend reversal 30-minute candlestick patterns and breaks and retest, and just the 30-minute chart was fucking golden for the gap close reversal, right? So in terms of those fucking calls, 539 calls at 1.19 cents at 1:49 p.m., right? So if you go to 539 calls, you go to the time I got in, right? Everything you do is alert 100% in real time. This is where I got in. I got in at the exact fucking lows using my strategy. Right here, 119, I'm fucking in, right? Look at the trade. At the speed of fucking light, the trade went to 200. It went up like 85% at the speed of fucking light. With that being said, I ended up selling at 205 cents. Those are the runners. And I sold the 80% at 186 cents. Ended up closing that out at 159 and 2:29 p.m. So in terms of 159, this was the exact short-term peak. In terms of 2:29 p.m., this was the exact short-term peak. And then the contracts ended up going all the way to fucking 400. You could have turned one into fucking 400, man. You could have made over a 300% profit return on that overall trade. With that being said, that was fucking phenomenal, and that's a great way to start a trade. So when I have curriculum that is aligned like that, and I could tell it's the best setup at the best price, and I hit a nice 100% win, that is big enough for me to walk away. If we choose to keep on trading, the most we decide to risk is literally 25 to 50% of our gains. And if we get back 25 to 50% of our gains, we have to stop trading because we're not going to go green to red, right? So I chose to keep on trading because I was trying to take advantage of that overall bullish trend. And in terms of the overall trades that I was making, I'm going to walk you through this, man. So that was the trade on 539 calls. That was my first trade. I was seeing opportunities for puts as well. The next trade was 540 puts. So I waited to trade during power hour, 3:30 p.m. as soon as the 30-minute candlestick closes, right? So I ended up buying 540 puts at 47 cents. At 3:30 p.m., you go to 540 puts, these would have printed. Look at this, man. I was in right fucking here at 3:30 p.m. at the 40-cent range. They dropped all the way to 16 cents. We don't use stop losses. Max risk per trade is what we put into the trades. And then they exploded all the way to fucking 180, man. From 180, they went up 200%. They went up 300% from my entry. And the crazy part is, I rarely do this, but I did decide to cut the play because I wanted to look for an opportunity on calls instead because I was seeing both reasonings, man. And the 1 minute chart made me flip flop a little bit. But if you would have held this play, it would have fucking banked like crazy. I sold it for just a small fucking L, man. And I was only risking, I told the chat, I said, I'm only risking 1/3 of the profit I just made on the day on this fucking YOLO here. So I ended up selling that at like 34 cents. It was such a small fucking L. And then after that, I crushed it. But we had some people hold this, and this went up fucking 300%. So you could have fucking banked on that. It really just goes to show you, if you just hold the fucking plays instead of trying to flip flop or sell for an L, it's just much better to hold vast majority of the time. But I did end up cutting that one. So that was 1L, which is completely fine in terms of my risk management system and how the day played out. But on the next trade, I ended up doing 542 calls at 55 cents. So after I cut that trade for a quick like 25% L, I switched to calls and I recouped my L and more in fucking minutes, man. 3:39 p.m. I did 542 calls at 55 cents. You go to 3:39 p.m. You're gonna see this is where I ended up doing the calls. I'm gonna walk you through this, man. So in terms of the overall calls, this is where I got in. This is 3:39 p.m. at the exact low. Look at this, at the exact low. 1 minute after I get in, they went from 50 to 75. They went up 50% within a single minute. Then they went to 90 fucking cents. The calls went up nearly 100% within 3 fucking minutes. And the sell on that was absolutely fucking perfectly, man. I switched at the speed of light, man. As soon as I got out on fucking puts, I switched to fucking calls. I could have held the puts. It would have been a 300% win. But in terms of the timing, it was the right thing to do for the timing. But if you just held both plays, they would have both printed like fucking crazy. But yeah, 542 calls. Ended up closing those out at 75 cents a contract. And then I did puts. Look at this. 6 minutes before the close, playing for a bearish close. 539 puts, 36 cents a contract, going 3 for 4 on the day. If you held the 1L instead of selling for a small loss, you could have been 4 for 4. Not that the win rate matters because we're already green enough to walk the fuck away, man. So 539 puts for 36 cents a contract, 3:54 p.m., right? In terms of that situation, you go to 539 puts. You're going to see right here, this is where I got in. I got in right here at the exact fucking low. You see this? 3:54 p.m. Just like the trade on calls a minute later, they went up fucking 30 to 50%. Look at this. I'm in right here, 3:54 p.m. A minute fucking later, these puts go from 26 cents all the way to 69 cents. Are you seeing this, man? The timing was fucking impeccable. I crushed it, man. I came back with fucking vengeance. I did so much better trading compared to fucking Friday, where Friday was not my day, but I only had like literally one fucking L. Today, I went 3 for 4, and if you held the fucking L, it would have been 4 for fucking 4. But the wins were fucking massive, and me cutting the L was fucking small as fuck. But with that being said, man, 539 puts at 36 cents a contract, 3:54 p.m. 3:54 p.m. I'm in here at the exact fucking low, and then it goes from fucking 30 to fucking 69. It goes to 87 cents at the speed of light. The puts went up 200% in 2 single fucking minutes. We fucking crushed that, man. Phenomenal results. Absolutely crushed it. By far, this is definitely one of my much better days in terms of trading, man. Every single fucking play printed. Even the puts that I sold for like a 25% loss went up 300%. And all the other plays went up 100%, and I maximized. I got the best entry on the other plays, and I sold towards the exact peak on the vast majority of those plays. Fucking crushed it, man. This was my day. I mean, you could see I definitely trade best towards power hour, and also in terms of the trade before power hour, it was using a game plan. I noticed there was a gap close reversal, right? And I noticed the SPY was well above a level I was interested in buying, but it already reversed the gap, and there was bullish confirmations for 2 hours on the 30-minute chart. It was pure common sense to be buying fucking calls, man. So it's fucking phenomenal, man. It is truly amazing what it is that we are doing with 0-day options, man. I'm telling you, we are fucking crushing it, man. The fucking results are speaking for themselves, man. We got a lot of people in here who are absolutely fucking crushing it. Look at starting the week here, 3 for 3 on the day. Absolutely crushing it, man. Following me and following G-Roar, absolutely crushed it, man. In terms of G-Roar, I will say this was not his day, man. G-Roar ended up having his worst day of 2025. In terms of the yin and yang in the fusion, you know, I ended up bringing a great balance to that overall red day and just fucking bringing everyone up, you know, and bailing anyone out who was fucking red during the power hour trading session. You know, if you go red during market open to middle of the day, you should be sizing light enough where you can switch back to green and go red to green during power hour with these massive fucking plays that are low risk, right? Obviously big enough where you can walk away, but light enough to where you can still trade if we do have a red session during the market open and power hour. So in terms of G-Roar, it wasn't his best overall day. It was actually his worst performing day of 2025. But as a whole and as a collective, we really, you know, did overall good. And I helped bail a lot of people out who, you know, decided to trade before that, man. I mean, it is what it is. G-Roar, in terms of last week, every single day, he was calling out like multiple 1,000% profit returns days. I mean, you're bound to have a red day at some point. When you're winning that big and not consistent, the market's going to test you in that sense to see if you're going to be a degenerate and give back all your fucking profits that you're making on these massive green fucking days, right? So like I said, man, if you can't afford a red day, don't fucking trade. Trading's not for you, man. But overall, we did extremely well, and the comeback was fucking legendary. And I fucking bounced back at the speed of light. Like I said, Friday was not my day. G-Roar did a lot better than me on Friday. It was not my personal day. I did not do well on Friday. But in terms of today, man, I did fucking phenomenal. So that's the main trades. If you're serious about trading alongside with us, is going to be the first link down below within the description. Another thing to note, right? So in terms of the overall game plan, I'll give you some more information since you guys stayed till the end. You know, in terms of this overall situation, let's see. So we closed at 539. We're at 538. Just some things to note. So when we go to 540.60 right here, this is a breakdown retest. You see right here, a breakdown support, cracks, retest, right? So if we're seeing wicks, we're seeing resistance, we're seeing red bearish candlesticks like this, forming at 541. I'm going to be doing put options. I'll be doing put options towards 540.50 to 541. That's the only idea that I have for puts, right? If we break above 541, react as fucking support, that's when you're going to see a major shift in the overall fucking trend where the SPY is finally going to start to explode up to this gap at 549, which is make or break. If it reacts as a resistance and does not break above, it's puts. But once we break above 549, go into the low 550s, we're finally going to have that move to fill the next gap at the 565 range. So I'm telling you, this is a major level where a massive move is going to happen. In terms of the strategy, it's a breakdown and retest. But in terms of the macro is saying, and the micro is also saying that's likely going to be potentially bullish within time, right? But when the macro kicks in, it's going to blow through all these bearish strategies and all these bearish potential levels. But the point being is, man, we are likely to drop first at 540.60 to 541. If we do react bearish in that particular situation, I'll be doing a quick scalp on puts. Once we break above 541 it's going to be a crazy fucking move to fill the gap at 549. And then that's make or break. If it does not break above and react bearish, you could try a quick scalp on puts. Once we break above 549, form support, low 550s, it's fucking calls. Look for the bullish confirmations. The best levels to be trading at heading into tomorrow are going to be this gap here at 549, make or break. And then if we go above 550, fucking calls. This level right here, 540.50 to 541, breakdown and retest. It's going to try to drop first. If it reacts as a resistance, you could do a quick scalp on puts. Just understand the trend could be bullish. If it breaks out, reacts to support within time, even if it dropped first, you can try fucking calls, ride this fucking thing up to fill that gap right there. That's when it's going to happen. When you see that react to support, use these levels throughout the entirety of the week. They're going to be the best levels to be trading at as of now. Next main level below that is going to be this 535.30 support. And this gap right here at 534, make or break. If we go under 539, we're looking at a drop to 534 overall to 534. And then I'm interested in potentially buying calls, 2 to 4 points below the previous closing price. So I mean, we'll see. It's gonna be interesting, man. That 539 is gonna be make or break. That's the overall game plan, man. So look, for those of you who want to trade alongside with us, this is the best time to trade with us, man. The market is at all-time highs in market volatility. The moves are massive. We trade zero-date options. We buy cheap, low-risk, far out-of-the-money option contracts. We're known for selling them deep in the money for the biggest percentage gains. And we have the highest win rate in the game doing this. Not that we need it, because we have the strongest trading system and the strongest foundation to be successful with the low win rate, right? In terms of zero-date options, every single week we make a 1,000% return on a trade. So if you have a 1,000% gain, you could have 100% consecutive losses and still be up 100%, still be green for the overall week, right? You can literally have 4 fucking red days, 2 100% losses on each fucking red day, and then on one green day, 1,000% win, you're up 200% for the fucking week. Every single week, we hit 1,000% gains, man. As of lately, we've been hitting multiple per week because the market has been giving us such big lucrative opportunities to be trading both ways as well, right? So, very, very cheap, very, very low risk, and the biggest profit potential, the highest win rate. You can be extremely successful with a win rate as low as 30% trading alongside our system, but we have the highest win rate because we're the best in the game at doing this type of trading system and style, right? And like I said, just to give you some more background, your max risk per trade is what you put into the trade. So the most you can lose on the zero-date naked options is going to be what you put in. That's the absolute most you can lose if they go to zero, right? So most you put in is your max risk per trade, your R multiple. It could be a couple percent of your account. Most you can make is unlimited R multiples, unlimited profit potential, right? So in this particular situation, we trade the trend. We focus on big moves. You don't have to time the trades exactly to a T with the way we have our system set up. And we focus on selling deep in the money for the biggest percentage gains, right? When we are down 50 to 90% on a play, when we're down that big, in that particular situation, when we are down that big, what you can do is you just hold the trade. You don't get stopped out. 70% of the time when you trade with us, that dead play comes back to life and it goes green. You set a profit stop when you're up, you get stopped out for profits. You move the profit stop up higher to ensure that you don't get back the bulk of your gains once the market has a big pullback against you. And we also add to winners. We add to winners to increase the winning. We set the profit stops to ensure that we don't go green to red and to protect our new R multiples invested into the trade when we're adding to winners, right? If you set a profit stop, it's impossible to go green to red. And if you add to winners, you can double to triple your gains without taking on extra risk, even though you're exposing yourself to more capital in the trade because you're setting a profit stop above your new average cost. Moving the profit stop up higher to ensure that you make the bulk of your gains. Once there is a massive pullback, you don't stomach the full pullback. You get stopped out exactly where your profit stop is set, and you're moving it up higher along the fucking way, where eventually you will get stopped out. Sometimes you get profit stopped out right away when you're up 20, 30%. We typically set it when we're up 15% plus. And sometimes the trades go up straight up multiple 100%, especially during volatile times to be trading market open, or if you time a trade perfectly, or during power hour when there's high momentum, you can quickly make multiple 100% profit returns, and the gains are double to triple if you add to those wins quickly when you're up 5 to 20%. And sometimes it just goes straight up, and then eventually you get, and then eventually after it going up 100 to 300% at the speed of light, it drops 50% at the speed of light, but you don't get stopped out at 50%. You get stopped out where you set that profit stop, and you're moving up higher and higher. Eventually you get stopped out, make the bulk of those gains instead of stomaching the full pullback. So that's what we do, man. Listen, if you're serious about printing money at the speed of light, it is the first link down below within the description. Team Roar is at all-time highs in memberships. We are absolutely crushing it. The curriculum is working. The levels are working. The game plans are working, man. So fucking simple. I'm telling you, best fucking levels you need to focus on 2 to 4 points below the previous closing price. Previous closing price, major level 539. Crazy level is going to be 541 to 540.50. Once we break above that, we fill the gap at 549. Crazy level, make or break 549. Once we go above 550, we fill the gap at 565. We do puts at 565. Dude, these levels are going to be fucking insane. 2 to 4 points below the previous closing price. Previous closing price, 541, 549, above 550. Those fucking levels, you're going to be printing money at the speed of fucking light. I gave you the perfect blueprint to trade puts in the morning. I literally fucking told you, wait for the red bearish 30-minute candlestick confirmation. And I told you to buy fucking calls. Market reacts bearish at 534, not at fucking 549. We ain't getting trapped over here. You understand? We waiting for people to get trapped. It's like, dude, I didn't even need to do puts right here. I was expecting the trap to happen with these confirmations, and surely enough, it fucking did. 3 hours of fucking resistance, crack of support, lower highs, bearish reactions, wick, fucking red, double green, red, lower fucking highs, previous support, resistance, so fucking bearish. Red bearish 30-minute candlestick confirmation sells the fuck up. Exact fucking repeats of that pattern I showed you on fucking April right here on April fucking 8th. My gosh, it literally gapped up, sat at resistance, green wick facing to the downside, red bearish, cracks below support, red, green, red, lower fucking highs, resistance for hours, fills the gap, starts to reverse at the gap. The same fucking shit happened, man. The same fucking pattern, man. Resistance for fucking hours. This is a crack of support, crack of higher support. This is the lower highs. This is the same trend reversal candlestick as last time on April 8th. This is the red bearish candlestick, sells the fuck off. This is new lower highs at the previous support, sells the fuck off, reverses at the gap. This is the green bullish trend reversal pattern, green, red, fucking green. Losing's a personal choice. If you genuinely choose to be disciplined enough to trade the best setups at the best prices with the curriculum, you should be green 8 out of 10 days. 8 out of 10 business days, you should be fucking green. You can get to the level where you're green 9.5 out of 10 business days. You should be printing money at the speed of light. I told you calls at the gap. 534, man. It's like, what the fuck do you think is going to happen, man? Let's have some fucking perspective. Can we all have some fucking perspective here? Look at the fucking market, man. We were well equipped. We were well prepared. We knew resistance right here. This is a break of resistance. This is the breakout. This is the gap. Oh, gap and go. Let's buy call highs. No, we're not a bunch of fucking airheads. We're not getting trapped. We're waiting for people to get trapped. And we know where the traps are going to get fucking created before they even fucking form. You have to be able to know when the traps are going to get created at the levels, man. It's like we were well equipped. We fucking knew there was absolutely no reason to be fucking bullish in the mid 540s. The only way to be bullish is once we finally go to fucking 550s. In the meantime, we're bearish, playing for a gap fill, but we're only fucking bearish if there's a red bearish 30-minute candlestick confirmation, and then the lower fucking highs, same fucking repeat as fucking April 8th, fills the fucking gap. Once it closes the gap, a green trend reversal candlestick, a green, red, green, a green, red, green, break and retest, oversold. It was just at 544. There's a gap to fill at fucking 549. Everybody knows the macro trend is still fucking bullish. So the macro trend is going to fucking kick in when we break above a major resistance level, 550, or when we have an overreaction to the downside, hit a break and retest level, hit an oversold gap, starts to fucking reverse, green, red, green, green, red, green, higher fucking support, man. Look at this. Are you fucking kidding me, man? Look at this. Who's fucking showing you this? Nobody. You can't name a single fucking person out there who's fucking showing you this. You want to know why? Because people don't see the way that I see things. They don't have my fucking brain. They don't have my fucking eyes. They don't see the way that I see the fucking market. And we're the ones running this fucking market. If you're using my curriculum at my levels, you should be green at the speed of fucking light. I showed you what I waited to do. And I could have been on put options beforehand. But I don't have to. I don't have to trade the morning if I don't want to. And that's not my best in terms of my personal trading. That's not when I trade best to begin with. I know my strengths and I know my weaknesses, right? There's 3 sessions to the day. Open, middle of the day, power hour. I trade best during power hour, and power hour is the best time to be trading, right? I also trade well during the middle of the day, but power hour has the cheapest, lowest risk contracts when they're getting ready to expire worthless. I come in, I basically bail out the contracts that are out of the money, and I sell them deep in the money for the biggest fucking moves in my fucking favor, man. It's like we literally found the way to buy something that's completely fucking worthless that ends up being a fucking hidden gem. A hidden fucking gem, a diamond in a fucking needle stack, man. And fucking, hey, look at this. Green, red, green, green, red, green, green facing to the downside, green facing to the downside, red facing to the downside, red facing to the downside, trend reversal, higher support, break and retest, higher support, break and retest, fucking explodes. If you didn't fucking see that, you lost. Don't trade. Just quit. Just give up. It's like, dude, if you're not capturing this, you understand? We don't print money. I know some people think we're the fucking Federal Reserve printing all this fucking money. We don't do that. What we do is we take all the fucking money out of the market that's being printed. That's what we do. We extract all the fucking money into our trading accounts, into our clients' accounts. That's what we do. We figured out how to take all the fucking money that is being printed. We figured out how to take all of that. That's what we're doing, man. I'm literally showing you how to do it step by step. Use this curriculum at the new fucking levels. You're going to print nonstop. Capture the 10-day, 30-minute patterns. I told you, with the education I give you, there is 1 to 3 trades per day. All you need is one good trade per day to walk the fuck away, to be green as fuck and compound the account. Do not overtrade, especially if you're trading in an educational way. If you're using an educational system, right? Some people, they just trade purely based off of intuition, right? And then they try to stack everything in their favor. In terms of my entries, they are coming from education. In terms of education, if you are just trading in an educational way, you're going to have a clear understanding of what the best setup, the best price looks like. And you're going to start to see, wow, there's only like 1 to 3 good opportunities in terms of best setups, best prices, where there's a fucking break above this resistance at 534, align with the gap. And instead of it being a gap and go, it's going to crash back down, have this overreaction to the upside, come back down to fill the gap below. And then once it fills this gap, it's going to try to fill the gap above at 549, reverse of the gap. This gap close reversal trading strategy literally led to me creating fucking Team Roar, man. You need to join this group and get in here and experience this firsthand for your fucking self. It is unlimited fucking printing and unlimited fucking winning, non-fucking stop. It is the first link down below in the description. If you want to trade alongside us, see us execute our trades in real time, see us execute our game plans in real time. Everything is alerted 100% in real time within the fucking chat. It is the first link down below within the overall description, man. I'm telling you, if you're serious about making money in the speed of light and you're serious about trading alongside with us, it's the first link down below within the description. You can get started today. The group is at all-time highs in fucking memberships. The community is in a very positive atmosphere, and we are doing well, and we are printing at the speed of fucking light, man. Is the first link down below in the description. If you want to gain access to our community, gain access to my trades as well in real time, at this current time, you get to gain access to my trades at this point in time. And also, you gain access to GROAR, real-time zero-day options trading alert system. You gain access to his trades as well, right? It's the first link down below within the description, man. I'm telling you, it's unlimited fucking winning and unlimited fucking printing at the speed of fucking light. So, it's the first link down below in the description. If you are interested in trading, to become better at trading, you have to trade. And there's a lot of fucking trades, man. I mean, in terms of me, it's like typically 2 to 4 trades a day. In terms of GROAR, some days it's a couple, some days it's fucking 8 to 15, man. I've never seen anyone have like 15 fucking wins in a single fucking day. GROAR just ended up doing that. I think it was on Friday or fucking Thursday. He just ended up doing this fucking crazy, man. It's like things move so fucking fast. It's like, dude, the fucking market is fucking insane. The volatility is insane. It's like, this is the best time to get started, man. It's the first link down below in the description if you want to join us and trade alongside us. With that being said, I'm going to be heading back to my secure private organization. We're going to be printing money at the speed of fucking light. I genuinely, I'm telling you, man, you should be using this curriculum at the levels. You should be printing at the speed of light. You should have all saw that. You should have been bullish at 1 p.m. You should have been bullish at 1:30 p.m. This is another break and retest bullish there. It was so fucking easy, man. So fucking simple. And then look at this pattern, man. Look at this. This is bearish at resistance. This is a breakdown. This is a retest. This is bearish at resistance. That's why I'm saying if we see this green wick form at the new break and retest level at 540.60, then it's puts. And once we break above 549, we're going to explode up to fill that gap at 549. I'm fucking telling you, man. This week is going to be so fucking easy to trade if you just use the curriculum at the levels. I can assure you, man. It's the first link down below in the description. Losing is a personal choice. If you use my game plan, you should have been printing at the speed of light. There's absolutely no reason to be red, especially when it's a personal choice. So with that being said, I'm going to be signing off. I will see you guys within the chat.